resolved, everything is fine. But then a bunch of bullshit started happening to me health-wise, and just bad luck and this and that. So let's just say whatever I was talking about in my previous video, everything is good, everything is fine, everything is dandy. Like socially, I'm doing great. I found my balance. I found my way of socializing with people that does not exhaust me and stuff like that. Let's just get this out of the way. But I started having health issues, and they have put me through the fucking ringer. I know there are people out there dealing with much, much worse, but I have always had, or not always, but in the recent years, I've had health anxiety. It started with the corona crisis, and then pregnancy, and then, daycare, and my child possibly getting sick, and this and that and the third. And my health anxiety is something I'm fighting tooth and nail, but sometimes I just tend to lose the battle a little bit. So without talking too much about it, let's just start at the beginning. One day I've gotten this weird ear infection, and normally I don't take any medication against it. I just, drink warm tea. Ginger is always great for any type of throat pain, sore throat, whatever, ear pain. So I was just doing my usual stuff, but this time it felt different. I felt worn out. I felt weak. I had to ask my mother to pick up my daughter from daycare. I was very tired and exhausted. But then a couple of days later, my throat did not hurt anymore. I felt healthy, and it was time for a week of vacation. My boyfriend and I were both off work for a week, and my boyfriend had this brilliant idea that we should go on a spontaneous vacation to Italy. Okay, great. I am not a fan of vacations. I am yet to encounter a vacation that's where, the whole suffering on the way there, the whole being uncomfortable and being in weird fucking places and public toilets and just the fucking uncomfortable way there, where the vacation would have fully compensated for the suffering of the way there. I just hate it. I hate being in fucking airports. I hate everything. I am not afraid of flying, but I hate it. It's just so fucking lame. Driving a car is lame. Everything. I hate being uncomfortable. I have anxiety, and it's hard for me to ignore the signals my body gives me. And so my body just starts annoying the fuck out of me, and it's hard for me to just ignore it and relax. Other people can, they seem to have an easier time with it than me, but I'm just and so vacations are great. When you arrive, you can finally relax and enjoy your life. Usually it's great and it is worth it, but the wait there is just a price I am more and more unwilling to pay, and I would rather have a fucking staycation. And every time I went on a vacation, it was always someone else just dragging me along, either my friends or school or my boyfriend. I'm sorry if you hear my stomach growling. It's kind of a main character in the story for the most part, so I feel like it wants to say hi. So I was not really cool with that idea, but I wanted to throw my boyfriend a bone. If he wants to do that, then we can do it. We have had many vacations closer to home in the mountains, the way I like it, and so of course he wants to just swim in the ocean. He wants to lay on the beach, so why not do what he wants to do? Even though we just went on vacation in January, we went to Egypt. It sucked, by the it had cool times, but it sucked. All in all, I'm yet to record a video on that. I feel like it would be fun to make a video about my vacation disasters, but yeah. So of course, the second I say yes to going on vacation, my fucking other ear starts hurting. Worse and worse and worse, especially at night when I have to yawn. Like, the yawning never fails to like rip apart my fucking throat. And it just rapidly starts getting worse. And I'm like, fuck. We debated so much whether or not we wanted to do this. We both had this gut feeling that we shouldn't, but at the same time, like, I don't have intuition. Anxiety makes it so that you don't possess intuition because your anxiety completely hijacks it for its own purposes, and it just lies to you. And more often than not, anytime I ignored my intuition, so to speak, I ended up having a great time. So I don't listen to my gut telling me not to do something because it's always doing this. And my boyfriend is like very undecisive in general. If he asks you if you should wear a blue shirt or a red shirt and you answer, yeah, you should wear a red shirt, he'll say, oh, maybe the blue. Like, we're both very undecisive, so we had a hard time booking that trip. But we both knew that anytime we went on vacation, especially with our baby, it was like fine, it was great. I love spending time with just the three of us against the world, having an adventure, being together all the time. It's just so wholesome and I love it. So I knew that the pain will kind of be worth it, but I knew there will be pain. Bitch, I did not know a goddamn thing. But yeah, so I went to the doctor, and this is where a fucking endless row of stupid decisions and errors and bad luck starts. I found this medication in my medication cabinet that I thought was unopened. I did not test it fully to open it, but it felt like it's unopened yet. I took it to my doctor. She told me, yes, you can take this medication, it's fine. Of course, the second I leave her office and I open the bottle to take the medication, I realize the bottle is open. So the medication is already too old. So we go to a pharmacy. The pharmacist says, you cannot have this medication without prescription, and you can't take the bottle that you have because who knows what bacteria is already in there or whatever. Man, I wish I would have just risked it for honestly, but whatever. So she gave me just this herbal medicine that did not do a goddamn thing for me. Didn't even leave a dent on my infection, but whatever. Okay. And we do the fucking worst thing ever. We book a fucking trip. Okay, fine. 3 nights, 4 days. Shouldn't be that bad, right? Great. It's like a 9-hour ride. We just chose to just go by car. Okay, fine. And I'm so dumb for doing that. I thought, oh, when I arrived there, my infection would have cleared by then, and then it would be so worth it. No, bitch. I can't even summon the strength to fucking pack. This is how you know you shouldn't go on a fucking vacation. I cannot believe how stupid I was. In general, this whole story, I feel like I have had a lot of luck in my life that compensated for my bad decisions. And this is really, really, really humbling because I felt like this whole story, I made stupid decisions and I really had to pay the price for each and every one of them. I don't know why. People talk about Mercury being in retrograde. I don't believe in that shit, but boy, this makes you believe and stuff like that, honestly. But okay, so I summoned my strength. We packed, and at night we got in the car and we left. I felt that night before we went on vacation, I had the worst migraine ever. I was sweating and freezing and sweating and freezing. I woke up drenched in sweat. I was so fucking sick. I did not have a fever per se, but I felt extremely weak. I couldn't even hold my head up. I was just so fucking done with life. I'm taking my fucking useless medication, whatever. So in the car, I just basically was drowsy the whole time. I did not sleep per se, unfortunately, but I was kind of like in and out all the time. Thank God that my daughter is an angel, the most well-behaved, calm, chill child ever. She was completely satisfied with just chatting with dad and like occasionally with me and just, I don't talking through the whole long ass trip. We made like a couple of short stops, but at the end of the day, she slept through only a couple of hours of it, and the rest of the time my boyfriend just talked to her, and I'm so glad, because if she was a normal child, like the amount of entertainment that the backseat parent needs to do normally is just exhausting. And it's like on your best day, shit like that just makes you so fucking tired emotionally, but when you're sick it's damn near impossible. But yeah, that was me being very, very lucky. The way there was hell. I was so uncomfortable. My pain was so bad. My throat was kind of swollen, and so it was kind of uncomfortable to breathe in certain positions. This fucking car, like, it's a nice car, but it's just not made for people in the back seat to have a comfortable time riding for a long time. It's just nowhere to put your fucking head. Everything is hard. Everything is just so fucking stupidly done. I just hated it. Hated everything about it. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything. I was just so exhausted. So there were times when I was just thinking like, I'm in hell. I'm in hell. I am so fucking exhausted. I hate it. I hate it here. It's not worth it. Why did I do this? Like, I really made a huge mistake. When we were about to arrive, it was like 30 minutes left on our trip. Of course, there was like traffic and we got stuck for fucking 1 extra hour and shit like that. It was just so frustrating. I just wanted to rip my like fucking hair out. But when I just looked at my child just patiently waiting and being like so adult about this whole thing, I was just like, hold it together. If a like not even 3-year-old can hold her shit together, you can too. I felt so bad for my boyfriend who like did not sleep well and had to entertain her the whole time, but it is what it is. So we finally fucking arrive. Like, when my boyfriend started barking, I was like, I need to exit this car right now. I cannot stay here a second longer. I exit and I just can't stand on my 2 feet. I was so exhausted. I wanted to lay down. Like, when we arrived at reception, I wanted to just lay down on the floor. So without even showering, which is so fucking unlike me, I immediately like lay my ass down on the bed and I was done with life. I did not want to do a goddamn thing. I was just fucking exhausted. Normally, when we arrive at a hotel, the first thing I do is shower, freshen myself up, take off those gross ass fucking clothes that have been to fucking public bathrooms, that have all of that shit needs to fucking go. I need to shower, I need to do this and that. Like, it took me already too much effort to wash my hands properly. Like, I was so done. Like, I would normally unpack all the shit that we've brought, put everything out of the suitcase, put it on the shelves and stuff. And so basically when things are dirty, we put them back into the suitcase so it's packing itself. And then, the clean stuff we separated with, like, I don't know, some plastic bag, and it just can be used again at home. Like, this is, how we do stuff. But not this time. This room was also kind of small, which we don't care about because the room is just here to sleep. So it doesn't matter, but everything was just so crowded. Bags were everywhere. We brought way too much shit. Being with a kid and all, you want to, like, overpack if you can, because you just want to be sure your kid has everything she might need. So, yeah, it was just exhausting. Like, after a while, we rested, and my boyfriend took my daughter out just to walk through the hotel and see what's there. They went to the pool. I feel like they went to see the beach and stuff like that, and I was just sleeping. My pain only started getting worse and worse and worse. I felt extremely fatigued and tired. Yeah, it was not a good time at all. At some point, I forced myself to take a shower, but that was all I can do, and that was it. I was just done with life. And yeah, that was basically how the day went. We went to eat, which I always joke about how I only go to vacations to eat because, like, I love fucking buffets and shit like that. I love being fed. I love food. I love food that I don't have to cook. When I looked at the fucking amazing dishes we were served and stuff like that, it all could have been sandpaper for all I care. I did not give a fuck. I did not want to eat it. I couldn't eat it. I just forced myself to eat something, and I just couldn't. It was hard to swallow. It was hard to open my mouth. I was just so fucking done with life. So yeah, we went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up even sicker. I did not sleep the whole night. It was just a fucking disaster. And so the whole day, my boyfriend basically just entertained our daughter. And that's that. Oh no. Actually, when we woke up in the morning, the whole night I was just planning what I should do next. Talking to my boyfriend ChatGPT and, like, asking their advice and stuff like that. It was kind of helpful, but at the same time, it kind of was like, I don't know. I wish I did not get too deep into that shit and just calm the fuck down. But in the morning, I went down to reception and said that I need, like, a doctor or whatever. Do they have, like, emergency care? And she's like, yeah, it's 5 minutes by car. I waited until my boyfriend and my daughter woke up and asked them to immediately go to the emergency care so I can be prescribed antibiotics. Of course, we couldn't find it for a while. It's just so fucking annoying. But then we arrived there, and thankfully we were immediately received. The doctor was nice. He really listened to me, and he, like, really helped me. He saw that I was distraught. I was, like, almost crying at the point where we arrived because I felt so bad, so fatigued, so sick and painful. My head was hurting, everything was hurting. And he basically prescribed me some, like, very strong antibiotics, 42 pills, 3 pills a day for 8 days. And okay, fine, this is exactly what I want, but obviously that's way too fucking long to take antibiotics. I just knew it's not gonna end well. I knew my body is too sensitive for that shit, but whatever, I'm here because I absolutely required this medication, pharmacy. Thank God the lady knew enough to offer me to buy some probiotics for, my gut health. Okay, fine. I'm on a regimen now. I take like 3 antibiotics a day and also 2 probiotics a day, so it's like a whole ass fucking goddamn mess. Also, like, I've taken a bunch of like pain meds, nothing helped, but ibuprofen helped immediately. Thank God I took it at night. It completely eradicated my pain. It helped me go to the emergency care. But then the second the pain medication started wearing off, the pain immediately returned. So I felt worse than better than worse, and my mood just jumped back and forth from hopeful to incredibly defeated. So yeah, I took the antibiotics as soon as I could, and by the end of the day I started kind of recovering. After we returned, I had like some breakfast, like very, very little. Went back to sleep. My boyfriend and my daughter went to the beach, and I just called them when I woke up, and they were like, come join us. And I'm like, I can't, I feel so bad. And I just started crying, and my boyfriend was like, come, let us just pick you up, and if you don't feel good we can go back. I was like, okay. So it took me all the strength I could to get dressed. Like, normally I can't leave my room and go in public without some makeup, because I have like dark under eye circles, and I hate that it makes me look like a fucking drug addict or whatever. It's just normally how my face is, but people, are not used to that. They judge you, they look at you weird, or maybe that's my perception. But this vacation, again, humbling AF. I did not give a fuck about that. So I went to the beach, I put some cotton in my ears, and I just drowsed off on the fucking beach. And it was nice enough, but it was like, after a while, it was uncomfortable, and I wanted to get home. I couldn't eat at all again. I barely touched my soup. I was just like, not feeling great. But the very next day, I actually slept very well, and the next day was very fine. We spent a lot of time together. I had a nice breakfast. I was so enjoying eating. We went like to the beach, and then we went out, and like it was a very cool day that we spent together. And then we went to this restaurant to eat at noon. Our daughter fell asleep in the restaurant, and I ordered some tomato soup, which was a fucking mistake because this shit is acidic as hell apparently. And I ordered some noodles. I could not finish like even 1/3 of it, so we had to take boxes to go, and these fuckers charged us fucking €9 for that shit. I was so pissed off, bro. But whatever. So I took the soup home because I thought, it's just like tomato juice. I need to eat when I take my medication, so why not put it in this hotel fridge in our room? And when I take my antibiotics at night, I can drink some soup so it goes better, in my stomach. Man, was I fucking wrong for that. So this soup did me the fuck in, but whatever. I'm still feeling okay. The pain is almost gone. I had to take like one more painkiller, but I'm feeling amazing. I have energy again. Mind you, I've not exercised like for a week even before this vacation, so now it's my second week not exercising, which I fucking hate. Not having any energy, barely moving. Like, back day before when I went to the beach with my boyfriend and my daughter, it actually took me an effort to sit down in my bed. I actually had to force myself to sit because I was like, all you do is lay down and sleep. Your body is like forgetting how to move. You need to start moving. I feel like it's yeah, I'm conserving my energy and I'm resting, but at the same time, like, lack of movement is like what kills you at the end. So I'm enjoying that I'm feeling well and stuff like that. We get back to the hotel. It's dinner time. I eat like all I can stuff myself with, like vegetable soup and this and that. I feel so great. Bitch, the night comes. I for some reason couldn't sleep well again, and I started to have TMI warning. I started to have the runs a little bit. And when I woke up in the fucking morning, I was like, fuck. And I started having fucking diarrhea, and it just did not stop. The worst thing I did was also when I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I took another antibiotic pill, and I like chased it with fucking potato soup from the fridge. Man, I started running to the bathroom every damn minute. I was actually like not okay, and every time that happened, it was preceded by this wave of anxiety and fear that overcame me and made me weak, like made me not wanna even stand or sit down. I was so anxious. Then when I was down in the bathroom, I felt better for a while, and then I felt worse again. I felt extremely fatigued again. It was not going well. And so I woke up my boyfriend and I was like, please get me home. Please, I cannot be here. I feel terrible. I'm not okay. And yeah, he was very disappointed. He did not really say anything, but I saw that he was disappointed. And I felt extremely bad. I was like apologizing profusely, and he was like, it's fine, I wouldn't want to be here if I was sick too, and it's raining anyway, and this and that, but of course it sucks. We wanted to spend one more day there. We had like plans, and then the very next morning, when after we check up, we wanted to go to like Venice for a couple of hours because it was on our way and stuff like that. So it was just so fucking sad, and I also felt so bad for my daughter. Like, on one hand, she spent a lot of time with her dad, which is always something she wants to do, but she also like was wondering what's wrong with me, and why can't I talk to her and play with her that much. And I felt so guilty. And now we have to go home, and like the guilt you feel when you can't interact with your child to the extent how they want to interact with you, just so crippling. And yeah, we just got into the fucking car and left. We just checked out and left. I waited. I stopped eating. I did not go to breakfast. I basically took some crackers with me, and that was all I ate in the whole like 24 hours, including the previous night. I ate half a fucking cracker, bitch. It was just so fucking terrible. Normally, my blood sugar immediately falls down the toilet when I don't eat for like a couple of hours longer than I should, and I feel immediately terrible and nauseous. No, my body turned off every fucking gland, every fucking function, and I was just not hungry. I had no appetite. I did not give a fuck about food, and I just like, let's get home because I want to see a fucking doctor. I want to see what new antibiotics I could take, because I'm not taking any more of that shit. ChatGPT is like telling me, oh, don't take this antibiotics, go to the doctor, and I agreed with that. So I was like, let's get home. And honestly, probably that was the wrong thing to do, because probably, I don't know, I now have restarted this antibiotic, so we'll see how bad I react to it again. But all I wanted was a switch of medication, but it ended up not even happening. So we left the hotel for basically nothing. I feel like if the weather was amazing, maybe I could have just stayed in a hotel and let them just have a nice time at the beach. But then again, how much time can I be hungry? How much time can I be nauseous and have diarrhea, not at home, away from home, in a foreign place, with a 10-hour drive still pending? It's very fucking stressful to have diarrhea and to feel like shit and to know that you're still like not over, the worst part, that you still have to be in a car for so long. Like, it's scary. I wanted fucking to cross that terrible border. I wanted like to finally exit this terrible situation, But it was selfish of me. I basically destroyed this vacation, but like I only went on this vacation because my boyfriend really wanted to go. Like, I really shared every fear with him prior to booking. I told him that I cannot promise him that I will not get sicker. I don't know what's happening to me and stuff like that. Like, I feel very guilty, but at the same time, it was a very informed decision that he made. I did not hide shit from him. I told him how it was, and he still like wanted to go through with it. So he gave me like a lot of choices to say no to. We were just very indecisive, but like no one forced anyone to the situation. We're not angry at each other, I feel like, but obviously he's just disappointed, and I get that, and I am too. Like, and now that my medication ended up not even being switched, I feel like I could have stayed one day longer. But yeah, I should have stayed one day longer for them and just sucked it up. But I was so scared, and when I am anxious and scared, I tend to overact and overreact and do the most. And I just wanted, like, my fight or flight reflexes were so fucking activated. So we get in the car and we go home. I did not sleep 1 second of that fucking trip. It was endless. My daughter did not sleep for long too. This time I did my best to interact with her and be the primary parent and primary entertainment, because I felt like she needed me, and my boyfriend was just kind of silent all the way. Like, I know that privately he was like angry, maybe even angry at me, like, but I can't blame him, given the fact that he was still okay in the way he treated me. He did not let it show, and his behavior was right towards me. I cannot blame him for, just sitting on his emotions a little bit, because everyone is entitled to feel the way they feel, But it made me like very sad and stuff. In the middle of the way, I kind of had a change of heart, and his mood kind of changed, and he was like laughing and hugging me and making jokes when we made a stop to go to the bathroom and stuff. But then his mood kind of soured again because we were stuck in traffic, and it was just like such a tense thing. I don't know, we just barely talked. And yeah, I just felt so fucking bad. Like, all this long ass trip pills are okay, so you at least know what to do about the antibiotics, but you have to wait for 2 hours. I'm like, okay, fine. I sent my boyfriend and daughter back after like 5 minutes of them waiting. I sent them home. I'm like texting my sister because she's on a concert and she might be able to pick me up. I'm texting this friend that lives right next to the hospital, but she's drunk, she can't pick me up. Okay, great. So, I'm willing to take a taxi, but I was just afraid to go by taxi because if I have not eaten in 24 hours and they plan on drawing blood, I felt like, man, I'll pass the fuck out in this taxi. God knows who the driver is and shit like that. So I was like, whatever. Also, I know this is gonna be fucking expensive, but whatever. I patiently waited for 2 hours because what's fucking 2 hours at this point? I was just like vegetating, half laying down in my seat. Everyone was taken into the room before me, which was fine by me. Those people obviously had priority over me. I was eating like the remnants of food I had in my bag, like some fucking crackers, some bullshit, like tiny bits at a time. I would not even have touched them if I did not expect it to be like to have my blood drawn, but I just wanted to prepare my body just a little bit. I'm drinking more water and stuff like that. I even bought myself some chocolate right before they called me in. And in the meantime, right next to me, there's this annoying ass, I believe like Syrian lady. She was watching some fucking anime on her phone loudly, and all the while there's like anime girls fucking fighting, making fucking pornographic cries and noises, and it was so fucking annoying. Like, she was so oblivious, like an older lady, just so fucking annoying, so rude. Like, there's a couple where the girl is like obviously in distress and the boyfriend is like hugging her. Something obviously is going on, like people are going through it, and you like out here being a fucking clown. Like, she was so fucking annoying to me, and she wasn't patient. She was waiting for someone. She could have easily just sat outside. It was like a warm night, everything outside was free, but no, she just sat right next to this poor couple. I just hope this girl recovers from whatever happened because she was very distraught. So yeah, finally they call me in. I sit down, they draw my blood, they say the inflammation levels are okay and the electrolytes level are okay. My doctor is almost finished, and there's this lady next to me. We're separated by, this like little divider, so I don't see it, but I can hear everything. And there's a lady, and it was so fucking sad. It's a senior citizen. She's older. She has a cough or something, and the doctor was basically saying that it might be her heart, that she needs to stay overnight. And she's like, for one part, he told her that she needs to quit smoking, which is not a fun thing for anyone to hear, who's a smoker. Then she has elderly parents at home that she is solely responsible for, and she can't even leave them overnight. It was so fucking heartbreaking. The lives people fucking live, and like the bullshit people have to deal with. And now she might have a heart condition and stuff like that, and she was like so distraught and sad, and she was shocked and still like processing it. Felt so fucking bad. Fuck. And yeah, I'm just sitting here with my bullshit ass problems, just my fucking hypochondria. And yeah, whatever. So the doctor comes to me and like, he's nice, but he wasn't fucking helpful at all. Apparently, I thought for a while that he might be helpful, but now he's like, So I basically waited just to have to return to that fucking hospital again. But yeah, he took a look at my ears with his fucking phone because he did not even have a fucking shit, the fucking instrument that you need to look in people's ears with, which is like, why wouldn't you have it? Like, I waited 2 hours and you can't even pick up this shit and just like search for it. Just look at my ear. Like, you can't. He was like a little bit of a pushover, so I could have sent him to pick up this instrument, I feel like, but I don't want to be annoying, and I'm always like, don't want to be squeaky wheel and stuff like that. So he just looked with his phone. I'm like, baby, what is you doing? But at least like he listened to my lungs and stuff like that. He was like, everything seems fine. You could stop taking your antibiotics, but I suggest you take the new ones full course. So I'm like, okay. He gave me something for the stomach, and I basically went home. Of course, my sister could not pick me up because she was running late, and I would have had to wait like 40 minutes for her to arrive, and I was just no longer willing to. I was just it was so late, and if I need to go to the hospital the next day and take my antibiotics and be on the phone with the hospital, it was already like I was running out of time, and I was desperate, in need of sleep and rest, as it is. So I took my taxi. Obviously the driver stinks of sweat. Why wouldn't he? Like, of course. He was also kind of like rude at the beginning, but then he wished me to get well soon. Oh, by the way, when I went home, I was walking past the lady next to me, and I looked at her and I was like, get well soon. I sent her all my love that I could. I did not want to linger. I wanted to give her my space. I was just like, get well soon. And she had an oxygen mask. So all I saw was her eyes, and she nodded at me like, fuck, man. I so hope that it's just nothing, that she does not have a heart condition. Yeah. So I went home. I arrived home. My boyfriend is still awake, even though he also needs his rest. So when he woke up the next morning, he was like grumpy for some reason. Like, the bags are not even remotely unpacked, not even a little bit. So I had to like unpack the toiletries. I forced myself to like wash my hair, to shower properly, because I wanted to feel like a fucking human. I was fucking dirty from the road. I have only washed my hair once on vacation. I was like so fucking over it. I took my fucking antibiotics and I went to fuck to sleep. So the very next morning, I woke up on my own accord, and so I decided, okay, since I'm awake, let me take the second pill and call the hospital. Obviously, no one in the hospital has heard of the doctor. This fucking emergency doctor told me will be there. No one heard of her, but whatever, I can still come. Okay. My boyfriend basically got up with my daughter, and I slept for a very long time, which is great. He gave me my place to rest. Like, as far as his actions go, he's like still taking care of me. He's taking care of our daughter. Everything is fine, but like, he's just in kind of a sour mood, not taking out on me or anything, but in a sour mood, not really asking me how I'm doing, not really being like nurturing, not hugging me, whatever. He's like, oh, I have a cold, maybe from the AC in the car. And I'm like, is that fucking news to you, that you're not supposed to fucking have the AC on every fucking second of the car ride? It wasn't even hot. It was a rainy day. Like, such a dumb ass this move of him, and I constantly mentioned the AC to him. Oh, don't point it at our daughter, and please make it like lower and stuff like that. So he knows about this shit, and he still managed to get himself into that situation. Like I was like, whatever, not fighting or anything, just barely talking to each other. It was just, yeah. So my daughter and my boyfriend go to sleep again, and I'm just like hungry. We did not expect to even get home that early, and so obviously we wanted our fridge to be completely empty. My boyfriend's brother was living in our place this week to take care of our cat, but he was like eating his own food, even though we told him everything in the freezer is his, everything he finds is his, but he did not touch the thing. But the fridge is kind of empty, and especially the food that would be healthy for my stomach is like not remotely there. We don't have bread, we don't have eggs, we don't have anything. So my sister is like, come over, I'll give you some soup. Mother cooked some soup. So she picked me up so I don't walk and, conserve my energy. I went there and like ate this glorious ass amazing fucking soup. My first real meal in like almost 2 days. And some like watermelon. I felt like heavenly. So my sister is like, there's this app where you can just receive a call from a doctor and he can prescribe you medication just from this call, and it's completely free and stuff like that. You don't have to go to the on-call doctor on the weekend. You don't have to go to the hospital for that. I'm like, wow, great. And let me tell you, I went through every step and I installed the app, I registered, I explained my problem, I booked an appointment, and to confirm this fucking appointment, I have to confirm a registration on a different app, which I am already registered on, and it was a fucking process, but I did that, it's all done, and it still doesn't work. Because the verification system does not work on the weekend. I'm like, are you for real? My sister and my brother-in-law are like doing the most, helping me. We try everything, nothing works, and we're like not we are kind of tech savvy, so we're not just like boomer-esque, just going through the motions. We're like thinking things through. We're on that shit. It's not working. So I'm like, I could have been at home resting or chatting with my sister and brother-in-law and like shooting the shit with my parents. Instead, I'm wasting like 2 more hours on this shit, and then I still have to go to the emergency care. I'm like, wow. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. My boyfriend told me we're gonna leave at 4. Now it's 4:15. He just woken up. He's like, yeah, I'm almost on my way. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm getting hungry again because my stomach starts to fucking function normally again. My sister just prepared food. She is putting it on my plate and my boyfriend fucking arrives. I'm like, wow. And I just know for a fact that he's gonna be pissy if he has to wait for me, because he plans to go out with his buddies today, and that's like the most important thing for him. He does not want to be late, like would not want to be late to his buddies, of course not. How dare I? So I just already know. So I leave without eating. I take like a banana with me, and when I get into the car, I don't know, we just exchange like a couple of sentences, and he's like, yeah, you could have already been done if you left earlier. And I'm like, but you told me you'd be on your way. Am I at fault that you took your sweet ass time like getting ready? Is it my fault that you need like a 20-minute fucking smoke phone session on the porch? Like, you are not good at time management, and I expected you to arrive soon. reception is like looking at me, and she's like, let me get it straight, you want antibiotic change? I'm like, yeah. She's like, but the doctor gave you the exact same fucking thing. And she looked, for one, she looked like Juliana Moore. But yeah, she was kind of like patronizing and kind of condescending. I just couldn't understand if that was her natural way of speaking or if she was making fun of me. Sometimes she seemed like she was kind and helpful, but sometimes she was like, but you know, when in doubt, I always treat people nicely. So I was like, I just let her talk her shit, and she was basically like, it doesn't matter if the second pill is coated in chocolate, like it's the same pill. Like that's the type of attitude she gave me. But I was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what to do. Like, I need my antibiotics. I feel very bad without, like, I felt extremely bad before I started taking them. She's like, but do you feel better now? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, duh. Maybe you should just stop taking them. And I'm like, but you hear everywhere that you're not supposed to stop taking your antibiotics because you develop a resistance to them. Because I did not like go into detail, but it's common knowledge that if you stop taking your antibiotics, the most resistant bacteria that still survived the antibiotics will start procreating, and you'll develop a strain that will be immune the next time, and your antibiotics might not help anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's logical to think that way. Is that, or is that not common sense? People always say that that's the prudent and important thing to do, that it's a mistake to stop taking medication the second your pain goes away. And she's like, she just completely did not even understand what I was talking about. She's like, no, what people actually talking about when they say it's, you know, the resistance and shit, they mean that people take too much antibiotics and then the bacteria in their body becomes resistant, and then they set this bacteria free into the world. Like, completely different type of resistance, not at all what I'm talking about. And I was just like, is that like a bad faith argument? Are you like being willingly dense and not choosing to understand what I'm talking about, or like what? I just couldn't get her vibe at all. I couldn't read that woman. Like, for one part, she was like seemingly trying to help me, but at the same time I was like, ugh, bitch, like, not too much. I don't know. But I remained very, very cordial, and I'm like, I just don't know what to do. Like, and she's like, it's not a problem if you skip medication and you can just wait and not take it, or you can take the one that you already have because it's the same thing, baby. Like, so, not baby, but like, you know, this patronizing ass attitude. And she was like, just basically don't take it if you don't want it. And she's like, I mean, you could wait for 2 more hours for a 4th doctor to talk to you, but I think it's just best you take the medication that you have, or don't take it, and then just on Monday you go to like a specialist. And I'm just like, okay, let me just fucking get home. So I walked to the shop, where my boyfriend and my daughter were shopping from the grocery list for stomach-friendly food that my boyfriend ChatGPT gave me. And I walked for like 17 minutes there, while wearing a beanie on a very summery day, like a fucking lunatic. But I was not risking another ear infection, because honestly, I'm feeling better, but I still feel this like pain when I'm yawning, and I still feel like there's just a little tiny bit of swelling in my right ear. So I don't wanna, like, my poor daughter's birthday is this weekend, basically like not talking to my boyfriend at all. And we got home, he unloaded groceries, brushed my daughter's teeth, and then he just kissed our foreheads, said bye, and went out with his buddies. I'm like, good riddance. Since my daughter is amazing, she went to sleep immediately, and I finally could relax and watch the fucking Sopranos, and just fucking, for the first time in this whole terrible weekend, with the exception of one day on vacation that was good, I could just unwind and relaxed. And I basically decided to continue taking my fucking antibiotics, unfortunately. And yeah, I basically have a couple of gaps in my antibiotic regimen, which is not great. Not great at all. Again, for the reason I just stated, but that's best I can do. Like, there was no way for me to do it perfectly. I don't think so. Maybe I could have went to the Italian doctor again, but I just knew he tends to like over-prescribe, because it was like so borderline the way he prescribed me 24 fucking pills. I don't know. And that would have even not been the same doctor probably, but whatever. I feel like I did my best, and ChatGPT was like telling me how, oh, you're doing everything right, but he's like, just at the same time, it was just worse for my anxiety, the way he was just like telling me how important it is that I resume my medication as soon as possible, and this and that and the third. But this nurse was like, and the doctor also was like, you could potentially stop. So I don't know, like, these people are medical personnel. Of course I should listen to them, but at the same time they did not even inspect me properly. They was just talking out of the ass as far as my situation goes. I don't know. I need to go to the ear doctor on Monday. I need to have my ears checked and my infection levels checked again, and I need to see if, but I'll only go if my symptoms get much worse. As of now, I have taken 3 more pills to the quote-unquote different ones from the new doctor at the emergency clinic, which he promised me would be better for my stomach, but turned out to be absolutely the same fucking thing, asshole. But now I'm back taking my Italian medication, so I'll finish my regimen if I can. I already started having a little bit of diarrhea again, but I'm at home. I work from home. I will be fine. The one thing I'm very afraid of is that the next weekend from tomorrow on, I need to get my daughter to take care by foot in the morning, because my boyfriend is working first shift. He won't be here. So I just hope I don't fucking shit myself on the way to daycare. That's one thing I worry about. Other than that, the diarrhea was not even like all, because the feeling of this absolute fatigue and vertigo and just feeling like shit and anxiety, that's what I'm afraid of. Working through that will be hard. So I need to take care of myself. I've lost so far 2 kilograms by not eating a goddamn thing. I'm at my pre-pregnancy weight. For the first time ever, I have seen the body that I was used to and that I just lost, so to speak, 3.5 years ago. It just made me so nostalgic. It feels different. I feel kind of more like me, but at the same time, I know now that I'm way too thin. That's not, like, my body does not wish to be that weight, obviously, or I would have returned to that weight a long time ago. I'm not dieting, I'm just watching what I eat. I don't eat a lot of shit, but I do snack, especially being a weed smoker. I do snack, late in the day, but I used to do that as well, like before I had my baby, so I don't know. But it was just, I'm muscle mass, and my body does not carry weight in good places. Like, the first place I'll gain weight will be my stomach and my inner thighs. Like, I lose muscle definition, I lose my waistline, I just lose like feminine curves, and I don't gain any breasts, I don't gain any ass by gaining weight. It just does not look appealing on me at all. And I look like I have more muscle definition now that I've lost weight and I have not exercised for 2 days than when I used to exercise daily and eat well. Like, that's just ridiculous. But that's just how my body has always been. I don't know. It's neither a good thing nor a bad thing. I will eat how I want to eat. I'll just have to watch, what I eat and like not overeat now that I'm taking my antibiotics again. But when I'm finished with them, I'll be back eating whatever the hell I want. So yeah, this is the fucking ridiculous ass story of my stupid, short, redundant ass unfortunate vacation. Oh, and there's just one thing I just have to add to the story. It does not really belong to the medical subject, but it was just so fucking sad. When we were sitting in a hotel eating, there was this couple sitting next to us, a gay couple with a toddler. She could not have been older than 1.5 years old. She looked like about 1-ish years old. And this is a couple of men, and they looked maybe 40 or something years old. By the looks of it, it's hard to say. Maybe a worn down 30 plus, or I don't know. So when my boyfriend saw that, he was like, "Oh, that's crazy," and I'm like, "Jesus Christ, you need to get out more." And he's like, I don't know, I just feel like every child needs a mother. And I'm like, bro, there are children that just don't have a mother because she's dead. And he's just like, "No, I'm not homophobic, I'm just saying." So we're discussing that, and I'm just quoting the stats. I will read you to death if you say any shit like that. I love my gays, so I'm saying how they're better parents because they have to work for it and stuff like that. Basically painting this beautiful picture and this and that. And they're a French couple, they don't understand the language that we're speaking. Man, when this little girl, and wait, so my boyfriend is one of them just kind of threw the spoon and now doesn't want to feed the kid, and the other one has to do it. And he just said it not to make fun of them or to criticize them, but because we remembered how hard it was to be in the trenches with the feeding and the child not eating well and refusing to eat and stuff like that. And we remembered how hard it was, so we're just talking about how it's war zone, and it was one of the hardest things to go through with the child and stuff like that. Man, when this little girl threw her sipping cup on the floor, when I tell you one of those guys fucking grabbed her cheeks in his hand and pulled her closer to him and was all in her face, in her space, fucking whispering something mean to her and being angry and yanking her a little bit by the face. And when he was and he did that for way longer than I even expect, and we're just looking at that shit, and I'm like, wow, if this man does that shit in public. And you have to consider how, when you're already, expecting so many people to criticize you and to be assholes to you and to judge you and to judge your parenting, you're already on your best behavior in public, you think, right? So if that's his best behavior in public, giving so much pressure to perform a good daddy duties and stuff like that, I don't want to even consider what he does at home when no one's watching. Right? He he took some toy, ripped it out of her hand, and threw it on the fucking table. And we were just watching in disbelief. My daughter was watching in disbelief, like. And I was just like, wow, I'm here fucking defending your ass, and you just go and do this fucking shit. And the other guy was just sitting here, not doing anything about it. I was like, wow, some people are just fucking terrible. Like, and don't get me wrong, the feeding phase was very stressful. I was yelling at my daughter for like a week plus. There was this phase where I started yelling at her because she did not seem afraid of it. She was just staring at me, just like staring, and it felt like a challenge or something, so it just made my yelling escalate. But I feel like she was just staring because she wasn't afraid, but she did not understand what was going on and stuff like that. But I forced myself to behave differently towards her when I realized that I'm like really losing it. I had like so much trauma from when she wouldn't latch and wouldn't breastfeed, and I was afraid that she might die because of malnutrition and stuff like that. So I have like a lot of feeding trauma with her already, and it all came out when she refused to eat and stuff like that. So I know the rage. I do understand the fucking rage. But like, I also had like postpartum. What's his excuse? Like, I don't know. I don't want to be a judgy asshole parent. I know that it's rough, but like, it made me afraid for this little girl. She ended up like leaving the restaurant with him holding his hand and stuff, and I don't know, like, I'm not the parent of the year, so I'm not here to judge people, but it just really made me like one thing I never did was lay hands on my daughter. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I just had to mention it because otherwise I would have like never had any, context to mention it again. But yeah, as of now, I still feel something in my right ear, so I am taking my antibiotics, and I already start to feel kind of worse from them again. So we'll fucking see. If something crazy